I got to say, I am very impressed with the setup. You've gone legit.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Many, many years of dealing Quaaludes, and now here you are. You've arrived. It's
That's
amazing.
it. You made it. Well, Steve, thanks for coming on today. We're doing the Vanguard Realty Alliance agent highlight video.
Love it.
And really just trying to highlight people that are actually doing deals business.
All right. Happy to be included.
I'm a big fan of results rule. And as our top producing agent, we are honored to have you on this today.
Oh, thank you.
So I really want to just kind of pick your brain. Maybe I can learn a thing or two. And hopefully our listeners will, maybe shift their mindset a little bit. I know we've been talking about that a lot. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah. So Steve Laret from the Steve Laret team, you want to give a quick introduction, just quick blurb about you and your business and what that looks like?
Yeah. We're a team of 6 agents. I've been in the business 12 years. I started out as a listing specialist with Keller Williams, transitioned to a team leader for the Keller Williams Anchorage, Alaska group, was licensed in PA, Delaware, North Carolina, and Alaska. Had some success everywhere we went, but we really found traction when we moved back up to this area from North Carolina. In 2016, we started the Laret Home Group in 2017. And it's been up and up and up since then. So we're just having a good time. The team is growing organically. We don't have a big growth strategy. We're not trying to recruit a whole bunch of people. And we didn't start the team because I wanted to quit selling, which I think is a big thing. I think a lot of team leaders start a team because they're like, man, I'm burnt out on actual transactional real estate. I'm going to get into mentorship.
Yeah.
I'm going to take half or more from all of these other people who are actually going to go out and do the work.
Kind of like those that can't do teach
there
type
you go.
of deal.
Right. And those that can't teach Jim. Yeah. That's, but yeah, so we just sort of organically started growing the team. And I think we have a very different culture on the team. To me, culture is sort of a bad word that gets abused in this industry, but we actually do have a great culture. And I think it naturally draws in some very talented people.
And that's probably from the top down where you're still in the trenches.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you actually are still in the negotiations and selling and listing and working with buyers.
Yeah. If I were my own business coach, I would take 2 steps back and kick me in the face for having a team because it's basically a feudal enterprise where, 80% of my work comes from mentoring the team and 20% of my money comes from the team. So I should probably just cut all that off, but everybody on the team, we legitimately love everybody on the team. And we started bringing people on to provide a better opportunity for them. They were killing it in whatever job they were in their life, but they just weren't happy. And so we saw, they saw our success and they started to inquire, and it was kind of like, man, we'll bring you over. And it's been a really successful transition. Chris Holt's killing it. Jesse's killing it. We're excited to have Shannon and Jen that just started. Kelly's always been killing it for us. She's the backbone of the team. So
what do you think that is, that, there is some sort of secret sauce there where people have, had a drastic increase in their business by coming on your team? And what do you think I don't know exactly what it is. I've watched it happen.
Sure.
But I don't know what that secret sauce is. Can you share that?
I think it's authenticity. I really do. Mentorship, we take it super, super seriously. It isn't the traditional team model where you bring somebody on your team because on the surface they look like they might have talent, and if they fail, oh well, they failed, right? You have this sort of attrition that happens when people are on teams. What ends up happening is the splits are too low, right? Somebody's got to pump 40 deals to really make a good living, and they get burnt out, and talented people just leave and do it on their own. Right. We have a very different model where we teach them everything that there is to know. We open up the books, we pull back the curtain, we say, look, this is legitimately, there's no one on this team that isn't talented enough to go do this on their own. Yeah. We're going to show you everything that we know. We hope that because we've done this and that our splits are generous and we provide upward mobility within our system, that you stay. But if you don't, it's a handshake and a hug and we're happy to have been this part in your life, to have played that part to get you to your next chapter and to ultimately go out and do what we're doing.
It's awesome, man. I've seen tremendous growth with the team, with you as a leader, and then with your team members, just seeing the results.
Yeah.
Like, again, I hate to keep saying it, but results rule. People can talk a good game, but if you walk the walk and you look at the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So with that, in this current market, as a broker, I hear agents all the time saying, there's just not enough there's not enough houses for my buyers.
Yeah.
And we're losing out, and the buyers are giving up, and they're getting defeated, and the agent has now adopted this losing mentality.
Yeah.
That they're almost telling the buyers, we're probably going to lose this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you guys
real.
are getting the results. I
Yeah.
mean, do you think a lot of that comes down to mindset and how you've shaped that within your culture?
I think it's mindset. One of my favorite quotes is from a terrible movie. It was the Rescue Swimmer movie, right, with Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. I hate to even say it. It's embarrassing. But there's a line in that movie where it says, what's the difference between you and the victim? And all it is the mindset in which you enter the water.
Mm.
The victim is a person who can likely swim. They're on a fishing boat. They're the victim. You're a guy that just got flown out in a helicopter. You got a pair of fins and a snorkel. You're getting dropped into the same hell that they're currently in. And the only difference between you is training in the mindset in which you enter the water. It's a big deal. When this market, this is probably the toughest market I've ever experienced in 12 years. And when it started, that we did have to battle against that sort of losing mindset. Agents were feeling like, man, like I just feel defeated. I'm going to show them 40 properties. I'm going to write 10 offers and we're going to lose. We fought through it. And this market's actually been a gift for us because it got us back to the fundamentals and doing the work. And when you do, look, you got two choices in this market. You can work or you can worry. We're going to do the work.
That's gold right
Everybody else is going to worry. Everybody else is going to feel out of control. We're going to take all the control we can. Results are secondary in this particular situation because if you're doing the work, whether you have results that day or not from the work that you've done, you're going to feel, your mindset is going to be so much better. You're going to feel so much better because you were actively participating in doing the work. So we really, in the beginning, it was a total mindset adjustment, even for me. And we just drilled down. I got back on the phone, circle calling, doing all those things. And we've really discovered not only are we in control, but we're in command. And it's been a gift and a blessing for us. And we're starting to see, the opportunity on the other side of this thing where buyers are coming, we're starting to get referrals from other agents, older agents that don't want to compete in this market are starting to kick people over to us because they know we will do the work. We will get them under contract and they will get a referral.
People that are winning are already winning.
Mm-hmm.
People that are struggling are struggling. How do they shift from that?
I think people that are already winning aren't necessarily winners. Winning is sometimes I guess a circumstance, right? You're born good looking or whatever, and you're used to being popular, and so you have some degree of winning that comes organically or naturally or whatever. But that doesn't make you a winner. Winners are found in times of strife. There's no one, I've never met anybody that impressed me that had a rose life. That somebody that just had money from Jump Street and didn't have to work hard for it, didn't have to overcome anything. Those people are not impressive and they're not winners just because they've won. I think the people that are able to adjust for us, I think it's looking back at a history of hard fought wins, more so than just winning. I mean, I didn't have a dime until I was until 4 years ago. But it wasn't because I was losing it, just because I wasn't in the right opportunity. We were always,
and you're crushing it now.
Sure.
So that really was a huge shift from. I mean, I'm sure you won in a lot of other areas, but
Sure.
in terms of financially, you've had some big wins over the past few years.
Yeah.
With your business as a result of the wins in your business, and
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the big thing for me is I hear just with the way the market is, everyone blames the market.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this at our meeting today. It's almost like how people complain about the weather and how pointless it is.
Yeah.
And the difference is the people that focus on the right things. And that's why you're saying like worry versus work.
That's it. And I think there's a universal guarantee that if you understand that if you do the work, the universe will deliver the result that you want. And I think what screws people up in these difficult times is they forget that it is guaranteed. If I told somebody on my team to go out and bang on 100 doors and they'd be guaranteed one of those people is going to list their house with you and you get a $10,000 paycheck, they wouldn't care. We wouldn't even be sitting here. We'd all be out doing it. They wouldn't care how many people slammed the door in their face. They wouldn't care how rude people were. They're just knocking through it to get to that one that says yes.
It's like the fear of failure almost. They won't take the risk,
Well,
even though there's more risk in doing nothing.
It's the lack of a guarantee.
Yeah.
I know because I've done this long enough and I beat my head up against it. I'm a blunt instrument. I find something that works and I do it over and over and over again. But I know that if I do it, the work is out there. The guarantee is there. And so I just try to impart that level of confidence because it's historical for us. I look back on all the times when it's been tough and we showed up and done the work and then it's worked out. So it's just a historical series of doing the work and achieving the results despite the fact that there's uncertainty present.
That's key right there. That's true courage, and that shows leadership. When the results are guaranteed, it takes zero courage to do something. Right. And when they're not, you have to take that risk it's really taking action in the face of uncertainty is what I'm hearing. And also tying that back to you've had some challenges in life that you've overcome.
Sure.
And that's given you the grit to do that in a business sense. And that's really, I guess, what I'm hearing in this based upon, what really separates that. Because I watch it, I'm fascinated with people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why is this person showing up, doing all this work, and they're not getting any results?
Yeah.
And why is this person always so busy that they can barely handle the amount of work they have?
Yeah.
And they're really doing almost the same, they're kind of going through the same motions, but there's a level of intensity and energy brought to it and fierce, it's like unstoppableness where they don't just they get one no mm-hmm. and they walk away versus the person that gets 20 no's and they're still there.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at you. I know we had that one deal where we started negotiating with, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm really up against the shark on this one. I don't even want to deal with this.
I hope other agents don't think that.
No, they
shooting myself in the foot here.
Only because I know
Sure.
who you are.
Sure.
And I know the level of intelligence and thought that you bring to each transaction and negotiation. It's not just, what's going to be best? You're really thinking through what the client and what they want, and you're going to absolutely do what's best for the client, and what's best for the other agent is not your highest priority. And that's how it really should be. Unfortunately, where a lot of agents,
that's the genesis of the fiduciary responsibility.
A lot of agents just don't want to deal with conflict. So
look, conflict is present when the other agent isn't doing well or what they said they would do. I mean, I've had agents that have, we execute a repair addendum and then they call me up a few weeks before settlement. They say, yeah, they're not going to do that. Now we have a conflict and you're going to lose because I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And that's where things get dicey. If everybody just did what they were supposed to do and was smart, we'd never have a conflict.
Well, that comes with, results, volume of transactions, expertise. I remember when you did the training on conviction, mm-hmm. the level of conviction that you have, it comes from your level of confidence.
Yep.
And that's just the nature of being an expert at what you do and staying focused in one area.
Yep.
So I think it's awesome, and we appreciate you coming on today. Is there anything you want to say to any listeners who may not be agents but have been looking to buy and have almost had that same defeat in their mindset, just to kind of leave them with some level of, hey, we are making this happen.
Yeah.
What's, where's the gap?
Everybody that I know anyway, everybody's out there talking about the problem. We all know there's a problem. Lack of inventory, abundance of demand. We all get it. Everybody's talking about when they have a buyer consult, they're like, oh boy, you're going to have to, overpay. You're going to have to bring money against the appraisal. You're going to have to waive all inspections. They're talking about all of the challenges. We're talking about the opportunity. The reality of it is we have a natural, organic supply problem in this country. We're 10 million homes behind the national demand. So we'd have to build an extra 1 million homes on top of the normal load that we build every year for a decade just to fix the organic supply problem. Then you have lumber's up 400%, sheet of plywood $75. If we were committing ourselves to that ambitious goal right now, what would the cost of those houses be? It'd be exorbitant. So in this market, hyper locally, where we're experts, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery County, you cannot lose getting in. I know everybody says, well, it's a bubble, because people that don't have any insight into the market, when something unprecedented happens, they just look back into history and they go, well, the last time something unprecedented happened, it was a bubble. So this must be it. And they look to find footing there. But in reality, the only thing that this unprecedented time and that unprecedented time have in common is that they were both unprecedented. That's the extent of the commonalities. Because all of the economic drivers that we have right now that are driving this organic peak in value, it's not even a peak, it's going to continue to go up, are are completely pointing in the opposite direction, that this is not a bubble. And now we have an administration that's going to dump $5 trillion into the system. That's going to create...
How much money was printed last year?
That's going to create an immense amount of inflation. When inflation happens, prices go... So we've seen a hockey stick in value. It's about to get inverted.
That I'm driving down the highway, I shouldn't be looking in the rearview mirror. I should be looking ahead.
That's exactly what I'm talking
wow.
about.
That's a big aha for me.
So
no, this is good.
What I'm telling buyers is, because I have a lot of buyers that are saying, well, I'm going to wait a year or two till it softens. It's never going to soften under $750,000 in this area ever again. Those days are done. We're reaching a point of critical mass. Get a foothold, grab this tiger by the tail, and ride this wave of inflation up. That's the beauty of real estate. It sits on top of the water like a bobber and rises with the tide of inflation. So even if you don't want to be a landlord, if you've got equity in your house, pull the equity out, buy an investment property. It's going to feel like you're overpaying today. Just wait 3 months. You're going to look like you got the deal of a century. And then you're going to make probably 25 to 35% over the next 4 years in inflation.
Yeah, there's a replacement cost going through the roof. Supply is short. Land is short in this area.
Yep.
Right. So it is very local. This is not a blanket statement. If people are moving out of the city, you might want to be a little careful, right? But if there's a high demand, which we have less than 30 days of inventory.
Yeah.
Which is insane. It's total insanity.
There's
it's
a
not
tremendous
healthy
opportunity in front of us for people that are able and have the means to buy a house right now. Take it. Yeah. Seize the day. Carpe diem.
And you might want to get with someone who has a winning attitude, who actually can get the deal done and get the results you want, because that's really what it's about, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on. Appreciate this.
Thanks for having me.
Great info. I always learn something, and hopefully we do this again soon.
Love it. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers.